You know, I think I speak for everyone when I say Infogrames is coming back. Really? Because, right, for those that know, it's literally like 9:30 in the morning right now when I'm making this video. Videos going out later today, obviously, in different times and that. But I saw this tweet from Atari. It was at 7 a.m. British time, which is 8 a.m. French time, which obviously Atari is a French company, so there's that. And it says Atari is bringing back the Infogrames publishing label. For decades, Infogrames built a reputation as a publisher and developer of amazing and illicit games, and we're excited to bring it back, said Wade Rosen, chairman and CEO of Atari. I have many questions on this. Many questions. First of all, how many people actually remember the Infogrames name? Because Infogrames was quite big in like the 80s and 90s for publishing games on home computers, from what I remember. And there seems to be quite a bit of like mystery around Infogrames, because Infogrames, for those that know, is actually currently Atari. It's the name they used before they bought the Atari name, and it's kind of weird to see it being announced it's coming back, because to me at least, I don't really know anyone that Infogrames means anything to. Second of all, what is the Infogrames label gonna do? Because right, Atari does there's three different types of games you can really do now. You've got your AAA games, you've got your indie games, and you've got your retro games. Atari doesn't do AAA games. Atari mainly seems to focus on retro games and focus on indie games. So, what exactly is Infogrames as a label going to do? Because to me, at least, and as someone that actually has money in Atari, I have a stake in Atari. I hold shares in Atari. Why? Because to me, at least, Infogrames is kind of known as the company who had a driver license, made driver free, which was a shit show. Nobody liked that game. It was rushed to beat GTA San Andreas. It did not. It came out before it, and it kind of, blew up in Infogrames' face. Then you also have the other game that they were known for, Alone in the Dark. These are sort of games that Infogrames was best known for when they took over the Atari name, and neither of these games are even owned by Atari anymore. These aren't Atari franchise anymore. So what is Atari gonna buy them back, or like what's Infogrames actually gonna do? Because at least from my point of view, Infogrames is a relic of the past. Like with Atari and as a way to modernize it and obviously bring it forward, they've been doing that. They've obviously got like Mr. Run and Jump, they've got a Combinera, they've got these remakes of classic games, they've got stuff like Yars Rising. But then Infogrames, it hasn't technically done anything with that name since like 2003, because that's when I believe it was like 2003 or 2001 they took over the Atari name, and it's just been Atari since then. So realistically, what is Infogrames going to do? Because I don't really see what Infogrames can do in this modern day gaming space that Atari's not already doing with their own brand. And to me, it makes no sense having two brands that basically compete with each other. Now, people will argue about Night Dive Studios and Digital Eclipse. That is true. They do the same thing, but they have different expertise. So you sort of know Night Dive is more the FPS team, whilst Digital Eclipse is more than just overall collections of compilations sort of team. Now, I'm not against this news. I'm kind of excited to see that Atari's making new moves, but I would have preferred if Atari came out and announced something more interesting, because Infogrames coming back sounds cool. It sounds cool on paper, but then you start looking at it as like, well, what can they do that Atari's not already doing? Atari for the last like 5 years has been focused on building out its retro library, building out its modern indie games. They know what they're doing. They're making old franchises new again. But how does Infogrames fit into that? Because to me, Infogrames doesn't seem to fit, because that's the name from 20 years ago that isn't relevant to many people anymore. And everything they could do with Infogrames, unless Infogrames is going to be the new AAA game AAA game publisher for Atari, which I doubt. I don't really see where their place is in the modern day Atari. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can let me know in the comments. What do you think? What do you think the modern day Infogrames is going to be for the modern day Atari? Because I have no clue. yeah, but let me know what you guys think. If you're new, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Yeah, cool. See you next one.